And next up, we have the Washington football team update. Y'all, if you listen fully to the podcast and make it to this point every week, you know this is not a happy segment. Just like last week I said, and I quote, "We'll probably win by just enough to hurt our draft position and show everyone we're not good enough." Huh. What was that? What was that happened? In the last minute and 47 seconds, Washington mounted a comeback and scored a touchdown to win the game against one of the worst teams in football? Who could have predicted such a thing? Me? Oh, yeah, it was me. We suck. We're so bad. It's bad, dude. Cordarrelle Patterson looks like Jerry Rice when he plays Washington. There's always one player that rips people apart when they play Washington. And this week it was Cordarrelle Patterson. Dude had 3 rushing touchdowns. He had 6 receptions. 50% of his receptions went for touchdowns. One of them was wide open. It was like the Monday Night Massacre. I don't know how many of y'all remember that, but that's when Michael Vick and the Eagles blew out Washington like 52-28 or 21 or something like that because we were terrible then. And I guess we haven't really gotten a lot better since then, huh? Anyways, the defense still isn't good enough. The offense isn't good enough. Cool. We got a dub. We're 2-2. Great. How else do I feel about it? I think we could lose every game the rest of the year. I genuinely, looking at the schedule for the football team, I see an incredibly difficult schedule. And I will not be shocked if we go 5-12. Like 5-12 is what I'm looking at. I think we have 3 winnable games, one against the Eagles because we play them twice, New Orleans this upcoming week, and Denver. And other than that, man, we have to play the Chiefs. We have to play the Raiders, of whom I don't expect us to beat. We have to play everybody in the NFC East still, other than obviously the Giants. And it's just we're looking at nightmare after nightmare after nightmare. And I don't expect it to get better. I wish I did, but I don't. Now, there was that phantom roughing the passer penalty that happened during the game. And honestly, as soon as that was called, I was like, you know what? Washington deserves to win this. And if y'all didn't watch, pretty much Matt Ryan got out of the pocket, was like 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage, was getting ready to launch a ball. Chase Young, you can say what you want to say. He should have done a form tackle. He had a wide open shot at Matt Ryan. Should have done a form tackle. Didn't. He shoved him. He literally put his hands on his chest, and Matt Ryan barely even fell. But they called it roughing the passer due to contact to the head and neck. There was no contact to the head and neck. It was all shoulder pads. Once again, shows that officiating should all be done from a booth. They should remove officials. I was going to say officiators. I'm making up words. That's how upset I am at this. Anyways, they should remove officials from the game of football and make them all from a distance. And then everything is just looked at because we're at the point where, computers can do that. People can do that with computer access and they can look at something. So there's less gray area because there's too much gray area for plays that define NFL football games. And NFL officials make too much and the NFL is too high price of a product that they don't have accurate calls being called. Like it's bananas to me. Anyways, at this juncture, I want everyone gone. I love Chase Young. Trade him. Get him to greener pastures. Send that man because he could be the state fair #1 cow. I don't know why that's the first thing that I think of, but it was the first thing I thought of. He could be in all. Yeah, exactly. He is my man's could be one of the best to do it. I don't think he's going to do it in Washington. He has at least 3 more years stuck with this team, maybe the rest of his career if he does the dumb thing and signs an extension. But I think he should leave. I love Antonio Gibson. I love Terry McLaurin. Send him. Terry McLaurin, he's a god, by the way. Man is unreal. Top 10 wide receiver, no doubt in my mind. He's played more games with a quarterback in his short career than anybody currently in the NFL. It's bananas in like a 2.5-year span. But honestly, y'all, at the end of the day, outside of Chase Young, Terry McLaurin, Antonio Gibson, and Jonathan Allen, We got nothing. We have nothing. It doesn't matter if we fire Del Rio. It doesn't matter if we fire Scott Turner. It doesn't matter if we fire Ron Rivera. I'm not going to sit here and advocate for those things. At this point, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't. It's hard to love football when you're a Washington football team fan. It's hard to enjoy the game of football. Like if you truly love football and you're like in it, man, through and through, it's hard to continue to come back to this every single week and decide that this is okay, that this is a worthwhile life decision. Because it starts up top. It starts with Dan. Dan Snyder needs to go. Any opportunity that the NFL has to get rid of Dan Snyder, they refuse to take it. All of the terrible things that man has done throughout his entire ownership career, if you want to call it that, and nothing. So that's going to be my personal crusade, is what can I do to get Dan Snyder removed as an owner from the NFL? We'll figure it out. That's what I got for you guys this week.
Just a reminder, you did win. You did win the game.
Doesn't feel like it, Rob. Doesn't feel like it.